you a harmonica hobo who's struggling to build a practice routine? You know, we all like to be free and easy and just play and enjoy the harmonica, but sometimes hobos need a little bit of structure. So I'm going to give you a 20 to 25 minute practice session that you can try to focus on certain techniques or songs, and hopefully it's going to help you to become a better player. Let's take a look. So we're going to break up this practice routine into preparation, warm-up, techniques, our melody, and some creative ideas, and a quick review. Okay, let's get started. First up is our preparation, and I'm going to say that I want to work on tongue block fluency for playing splits and bends in the same phrases. And I'm going to choose a melody. We're going to use the harmonica barge theme that happens at the end of every video, which is my song Hammond's Place. We're going to use that as a vehicle, as a melody that you might be working on. So first of all, warm up. And warming up is always good to pick a scale or some nice gentle chords to get started. So I'm going to do two things. I'm going to pick a little chord pattern that's related to that song. And just breathing through the harmonica and starting with some nice gentle chords is really good for warming up. If I wanted to make that a little tongue block version, I go. So in addition to doing a little chord warm up, let's take a scale. Scales are always a good thing to warm up with, and we'll go for nice and consistent and slow. Let's do the major pentatonic. And we're just checking our technique when we do the scale. The scale's just a great way to warm up and trying to check just to see if everything's relaxed. Let's do it with a tongue block. And back down. You can play 3 notes of the scale, come back 1, and then play another 3 and go down that way. So we've got a little chord riff, we've got a scale. You could also just do a melody so it feels like you're a harmonica player. Let's take a melody like Cripple Creek, something simple. So next up would be a few techniques, and this is kind of an extension of the warm-up, but it's a little bit more focused to the piece that I'm working on, and the piece that I'm working on has a lot of splits. So why don't I just take a little splits exercise. I'm going to do 3-6, 2-5, 1-4 draw. And a little lick that uses the bend a lot. Of course, country blues, when we're playing with a tongue block, we have loads of this full step 3 bend, which can be tricky. So here's a little lick that I use all the time and is all over bluegrass and country. And you can find it in the song we're working on at the end. So if I do that as a little repetitive pattern, so you can see here I've just taken a little riff from the song, I've repeated it and resolved it, and what's good here is that it's very relevant to the piece I'm working on. So next we can try the whole melody. And what I'm really working on here is the B section. So the A section, just for argument's sake, say you've got that down but the B section's giving you trouble, or whatever piece you're working on, it might be the chorus. So here's the B section. Now you could just play the whole thing, but probably, if you're anything like me and most other musicians, there's going to be a little bit of this that keeps tripping you up every time. And it's like most of it you can probably play okay if you've been practicing or whatever song you're working on. And then there's that little bit, there's just that bar. So let's say here, and I found this with a lot of students, it's this last phrase, the last 2 bars, which goes... So we can work on that in isolation. And as you can see, I've already structured, I've picked our warm-up to be relevant to this. So we have that 3/6 blow. And then we need a release. So let's just break this down. Here's the first half of the first bar of the 2-bar phrase. So I've got that 3/6-2-5-1-4 draw, and then a release of the tongue. And I'm looping that little section. Similar to the practice we did before with the extended technique practice, but here I'm just focusing in and I can hear it in the context of the melody a lot more now. And then the second part of the bar, which of course formed the other part of our warm-up, and we're going to keep that going, looping it. And then we can practice putting both those bars together. So that one you can really focus in on, spend quite a long time at different speeds. Now it's getting towards the end of your 10 minutes melody practice, and I can start to play the whole of that B section. Finally, we want to try something creative. Last 5 minutes, and let's say I'm going to take the phrase at the end and I'm actually going to simplify it, because we know what we're doing with the tongue block splits version. That's what we're working on, that's our weakness. So maybe we'll say we'll play that all as single notes. In some ways a bit simpler, less to think about. I'm going to come up with 3 separate ideas for the end. There's one. One more. And a slap. So I've just come up with 3 little improv ideas out of the lick that I'm already working on. So that makes it relevant to what I'm doing. I can use that in this song, and it's just a fun thing to try. So the only thing left is to review your practice session. Here you just have to be honest and say, do you think you progressed at what you were working on? Maybe you want to try exactly the same thing again the next day. And sometimes I would recommend taking the same thing 2 or 3 days. You might start to get fatigue after 2 days, in which case you could switch on something completely different, or maybe a different part of this song, and then come back. Sometimes just hammering away at something, that can be good, but it's actually when you take a break and come back to it, that's when you know the improvements happened. But please use this technique, give it a try, 20 to 25 minutes. You can use this song. I do have an in-depth lesson available on this song. You can take a look in the description, or of course pick whatever project you're working on yourself, and I wish you the best of luck with your practice. If you like this video, check out this other one right here. Bye bye.